Yeah, no, I think we can, so basically we can have those conversations and showcase how this is a journey for us as well.
Yeah, we don't fully understand the extent of the bystander effect, so just documenting everything and how we come to understand it is important to present the journey as a whole.
You know, again, we're not experts, so might as well just showcase our journey.
So
Yeah,
because anything that we find out could be useful.
exactly.
Have you ever heard of the term bystander effect? You know what that is? The bystander effect is a term that refers to cases where individuals do not help someone who is in need, where individuals do not offer help to a victim of a crime or something bad like that. The definition goes like this: the probability of offering someone help is inversely related to the number of people watching or the number of bystanders watching the individual who is going through something. In other words, it's saying that the more people watching a situation go down, the less likely anyone is to help that individual.
Where did this idea come from? March 13th, 1964, a tragedy in Queens, New York. Kitty Genovese was murdered outside her apartment. It was late, but there were certainly people awake. She was screaming while she was attacked. 2 weeks later, the New York Times ran an article saying that 37 who saw the murder did not call the police. 37. The number was later adjusted to 38. The idea that someone could be murdered and people would stand idly by became something that social psychologists were very concerned about.
From ABC, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Reporting tonight from Berlin.
From the Berlin Wall specifically, take a look at them. They've been there since last night. They are here in the thousands. They are here in the tens of thousands. Occasionally they shout, Die Mauer muss weg, the wall must go. Thousands and thousands of West Germans come to make the point that the wall has suddenly become irrelevant. Something, as you can see, almost to party on. How do you measure such an astonishing moment in history?
You know, I feel like video games are a good way to study the bystander effect, as you can see how people's agency takes effect. Let's take, for example, Life is Strange. There's a part in that game where you have to decide whether you want to administer morphine to your best friend Chloe, and I feel like that really mirrors real-life bystander dynamics, and it's prompting reflection on agency, ethical dilemmas, and our moral responsibility in shaping others' fate.
Please. Help me, Max.
I also feel like people don't realize how much agency you have when you play video games. For example, sometimes you might take a bullet for your teammate, or revive them, or I don't know, save your sim from a burning house fire, or blind the killer that tries to kill your friend and then healing them afterwards. And sometimes you might even take matters into your own hands and become the killer. One final example of a game that I feel like really plays into the idea of you taking agency is this small indie game called TV Night, where you're just like a little kid and then you want to go downstairs and watch some cartoons, and then you have to find tapes for whatever reason. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that you have the power to choose whether you want to play this game and see what happens after you find all those tapes, and the decision to not do it. Even though it doesn't directly translate into the bystander effect, it's a good way to see how agency plays a huge role in this type of dynamics. Especially because I feel like we all know what happens in a horror game once you finish it.
Don't you hear that scary? Can't you hear that scary noise? Listen to that awful moan. I guess you better run home. Hurry up and go to bed and cover up your woolly head. Don't you never let him get you from your mammy's door, 'cause mammy loves you so. Yes, you run and don't look back until you get to Patty Shack. The boogeyman is here.
With the development of the
To the brave heart,
computer,
nothing is impossible.
6
the
pounds.
phone,
We're too old for this, I shout. There's no way out.
and the internet,
Not the 18 months, but the criminal damage.
we've become way more interconnected with one another. We've also gained the ability to know about events occurring across the world, just from our phones. The interesting fact of the matter is how we act in response to what we see. Our actions and reactions towards what we spectate are directly linked to agency, the level of control we feel that we have over a situation. On a regular basis, scrolling through the timeline or through apps, we see a lot, but the way in which we react can inadvertently make us bystanders. For example, if we like a comment of somebody making fun of another person, that actually makes us complicit in the situation. We've chosen to watch, to stand by, while someone commits a harmful act. Additionally, the action positively reinforces individual bullying. They receive a virtual token of appreciation for their actions, making them think it's acceptable due to a lack of negative consequences for their action, making it likely they'll continue and do this again. In this situation, we may not do anything, we may just scroll past or ignore it, or just even close the app because we feel what we do will have no effect. That shows that we believe we have a lack of agency. This is different to real life examples when we see something happening in front of us, where we may feel more responsible than we do from behind the screen.
Yeah, so how was this experience for you, Imogen? How did you find it?
It was very, to not use a very cliche phrase, I say it's very eye-opening. I found out a lot more about the bystander effect, and we don't pay attention to a lot of things that occur in everyday. Simple things like us just like liking a post or scrolling past a news memo or not filling in a survey, like that can have a larger impact on the whole, but I guess in a way it makes us a bystander for not taking the time to think and consider our actions.
I definitely agree with that. Especially because, I don't know, like, going into this I was quite scared of, like, the outcome. We're quite new to this. And it was, like, a subject we haven't studied properly before. So, you know, it was really interesting to see how the bystander effects is all around us. It's something that we all experience more or less in like different mediums.
Another thing, like realizing that it's all around us, I think it was probably one of the most shocking things finding out when researching this was that the main case that like led to the creation of like the term bystander effect and the effect as a whole in psychology only happened in the 60s, which wasn't even that long ago. So to think that this may have been going on way before there's specifically a term for it kind of puts into perspective how we as like a society may have acted towards each other previously without even realizing.
This is such a complex topic, but hopefully people will find this entertaining and, you know, they will think, oh, that was a fun documentary.